She said I had an unhappy love affair. So I said, was it one of my doctors? She said no.
What if I told you that some of MASH's most loved actors didn't just leave the show, they disappeared without warning, walked away with regret, or broke down from what was happening off camera? This wasn't just a TV show. It changed the entire landscape of American television. But while audiences laughed, the stars behind the scenes were dealing with something much heavier. Today, we're uncovering the real reasons why so many cast members suddenly left MASH and what happened after the camera stopped rolling. And trust me, some of it gets downright unsettling. Before we talk about who left and why, let's look at how MASH even came to be. It started not as a show, but as a novel written by a real Korean war surgeon under the name Richard Hooker. That novel became a satirical film in 1970, and by 1972, CBS had turned it into a weekly television show. MASH was unlike anything else on air. It combined dark humor with emotional weight, and audiences connected instantly. But that unique tone came at a cost, because as the show tried to balance laughter and grief, something strange started happening behind the scenes. The actors began to feel it. Tensions quietly built, and soon, one by one, the stars began disappearing. Let's start with Mlan Stevenson, Colonel Henry Blake. He was the affable, sometimes clueless, but always well-meaning leader of the unit. Fans loved him. But here's where it gets complicated. Behind the scenes, Mlan was deeply frustrated. As Alan Alda's Hawkeye became the face of the show, Mlan felt his own role shrinking. He wanted to be front and center, not just part of the ensemble. Then it got worse. In 1975, Mlan made the bold decision to leave MASH in search of stardom elsewhere. The producers didn't let him walk off gently. Instead, they shocked the nation his character was killed in a final twist that left viewers speechless. There was no warning, just Radar walking into the OR and announcing that Blake's plane had gone down. No music, no laugh track, just silence. The country was stunned. Fans wrote angry letters. CBS was overwhelmed with backlash. But for MASH, it was a turning point. It proved they weren't afraid to break the rules. As for Mlan, his new shows bombed. Years later, he admitted he had regrets. He'd left behind something special and never quite got it back. Next came Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John, the charming partner to Hawkeye. Their chemistry was lightning in a bottle. But off-screen, cracks were forming. Wayne signed on thinking the show would be balanced. An ensemble piece. But just like Mlan, he found himself increasingly sidelined by Alda's growing presence. And then, things got even messier. Wayne didn't even sign a formal contract. So when season 3 ended, he just didn't come back. No warning, no goodbye, no final scene. One episode he was there, and the next he was gone. Fans were confused. The writers scrambled to explain his absence, quickly replacing him with a new character. But Wayne didn't look back. He reinvented himself as a financial expert, appearing on news shows and building a fortune. Quietly, he'd made one of the most shocking exits in TV history and walked into an entirely new life. If MASH had a heart, it was Radar. Sweet, innocent, always ahead of the action. But behind Radar's wide eyes, Gary Berghoff was crumbling. He battled severe anxiety and emotional exhaustion. The long filming hours, constant pressure, and time away from family started to break him down. Then it got worse. Gary began pulling away from the show. He asked for fewer scenes, took more time off. Eventually, it became clear he couldn't do it anymore. Unlike Wayne, Gary got a proper farewell. A 2-part episode titled Goodbye Radar gave fans a chance to say goodbye. In the final scene, Radar walks off into the sunset, leaving his teddy bear behind. It was quiet, it was haunting, and it felt heartbreakingly real. After MASH, Gary left Hollywood, became an inventor, focused on wildlife conservation, and found peace far from the spotlight. He later said he left for 2 reasons: my family and burnout. And honestly, who could blame him? Major Frank Burns, obnoxious, rigid, totally insecure. And fans loved to hate him, but Larry Lynville, the actor behind Frank, felt trapped. While other characters matured and evolved, Frank stayed flat stuck in the same shallow loop. Then it got frustrating. Larry realized the character had nowhere left to go. So at the end of season 5, he made the decision to leave. Not out of conflict, but out of creative exhaustion. He simply said, "I've taken the character as far as I can." Frank was written out of the story with a vague promotion, and the series moved on. But Larry's exit marked another shift. Mass H was done with caricatures. From that point forward, the comedy got deeper, and the stakes got higher. When Frank Burns left, someone had to take his place. Enter Charles Emerson, Winchester III. He was brilliant, arrogant, and surprisingly human. David Ogden Stiers brought something new to MASH: nuance. At first, his character seemed cold, distant, But slowly you started to see the crack's compassion hiding beneath the pride. But here's what made David different. He didn't leave mid-series. He stayed through the finale. His final scene? Teaching Mozart to prisoners of war. It was beautiful, and it was enough. He declined to join any sequels, saying Winchester had said what he needed to say. Later in life, David revealed he had kept his personal life private out of fear it would affect his career. But he was deeply respected by everyone he worked with. When he passed away in 2018, tributes poured in not just for Winchester, but for the man behind the character. While many of her co-stars left, one woman remained. Lucille Sweet, who played Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan, started out as the butt of every joke, a stiff, overly serious character with a cartoonish nickname. But then, things changed. Loretta refused to let Margaret be a punchline. Season by season, she reshaped the character, turning her into a complex, powerful, deeply human figure. Margaret became a leader, a mentor, and one of the few voices questioning the morality of war while still doing her duty. Loretta stayed for all 11 seasons. She appeared in both the first and last episodes. She didn't just endure, she transformed what a female character could be on television. In a cast full of departures, she stood her ground. And by the end, she was unforgettable. MASH made us laugh, it made us cry, and it changed television forever. But behind the awards and the legacy were real people dealing with real pressure, pain, and sacrifice. Some left for ambition, others walked away for their health, and a few simply couldn't take it anymore. And maybe that's what made the show so powerful. It was never just acting, it was real emotion, both on screen and off. The truth is, MASH was never really about war. It was about the people caught in it, people who used humor as a shield and who leaned on each other when things got too heavy. And the cast, they weren't immune to that weight. Many of them carried the emotional toll of the show long after it ended. Each goodbye, each character exit, told a story of someone trying to find peace in a world that never stopped spinning. Looking back, we realize those departures weren't just plot twists. They were personal battles fought behind the scenes. That's what separates MASH from every other show. It was raw, it was real, and it left scars in the best and worst ways. Maybe that's why, even decades later, we're still talking about it. Because when a show taps into something that deep, it never really leaves you. Which departure surprised you most? Was Radar's farewell the most emotional moment in sitcom history? Or did Henry Blake's sudden send-off still hit the hardest? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. We've got more behind-the-scenes stories coming your way soon. Share this video with a fellow MASH fan and let them know they're not the only one who still remembers these iconic moments. And if you made it this far, tell us in the comments with the secret phrase, "Goodbye, Radar." We'll know you're one of the real ones. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep digging for the stories that go deeper than the screen. Because sometimes the truth behind the show is the most powerful part.